I said to her, I'm really nosy, so I will want to look. So I was like kind of watching it get done, which was honestly crazy. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Tonight's video is going to be an updated smear video. I'm aware this video isn't for everyone, but I am going to vlog my experience so that it could help one person, it could help no one. It's just informative, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to vlog this experience, so let's get on with the video. So obviously I did a smear video a few months ago, and a lot of people were messaging saying it was really sort of good to talk about and they enjoyed the video and it's not spoke about enough, and I agree, that's why I did it. So I obviously vlogged that experience, my first smear test, which was absolutely fine, and then you get your results back. I'm going to insert a little clip of sort of when I got a letter to say that I was going for a colposcopy, because that's what this video is. I am going back to the sort of hospital and I'm getting a colposcopy, which I'll explain a little bit more in a minute. But when I first got that letter, this is how I sort of felt and this is what happened. So let's skip to that clip. Okie doke, so it's the 15th of December today, and I just got back from my mum's where my post sometimes goes, and I got a letter from my recent smear test. So obviously I vlogged my smear experience, so I wanted to keep everyone updated with what happens, but obviously I think it's been about a month now and I hadn't actually heard anything. So obviously it's, like I say, 15th of December today, and I just got my letter. So my letter says, "Dear Miss Stevenson, due to the result of your recent cervical smear, an appointment has been made for you to attend the colposcopy clinic," and then it gives you the hospital and the date and the time. So it's on Wednesday the 6th of January at 11 AM. So obviously when I've read that, my first reaction, like my heart dropped. I was like, oh my god, what is wrong? And I obviously just wanted to, like I say, I'm gonna vlog the experience of going for the colposcopy. But it give you a little leaflet as well. So the reasons that it says, why have I been referred to the colposcopy clinic? There's 3 reasons. So it says, you have been referred to the colposcopy clinic because the cervical screening test you had recently is abnormal. This may be due to an inadequate sample of cells from the cervix that makes adequate assessment impossible, the detection of the detection of the HPV in the screening sample, or changes in the cells on your cervix known as, and it's a really long word, dyschirosis. It's a very long word. I don't know what that means. So it's obviously one of them 3 things, and I've put it down that I think it'll be abnormal cells. Obviously this is like 3 weeks prior to when I'm going for the appointment, so I don't know. I rang my doctors to try and get a little bit more information and the result of the smear, but the woman on the phone was just the receptionist. She couldn't give me any sort of clinical details, so I'm going to ring back tomorrow morning and find out if I can a little bit more. I also tried to ring the place where I'm booked in and try to get it a bit earlier so that there's no worry, because I think the initial thing is worry. But I think because I know people that have had where the cells are inadequate and they've had to go back, but they've just rebooked them in at their GP, so I'm ruling out that kind of. And I know also people that have had the HPV virus, and they just got a letter to say that, and then they would just get screened every year. Well, again, next year instead of every 3 years. So I'm ruling out that. So I really do think it'll be abnormal cells. And when I first opened the letter, I panicked, but I panicked because obviously it didn't give me any of the details. But now I've kind of thought about it, I think it's abnormal cells. I just think you kind of can't worry until, like, you know there's something to worry about. If there is, hopefully there's not, and fingers crossed there's nothing to worry about. But my mum was like, you're going to worry all over Christmas, and I was like, I'm not, because I can't change what will happen on the 6th of January. At the end of the day, it's not that far away, it's 3 weeks away. I'll get it sorted and I'll find out then. And I'm not going to Google it or anything, because I just think it's crazy to Google, because people have very different experiences. Like it could be any of those 3 things. I've just in my head ruled out the other 2, but I do think it's probably abnormal cells, which is also common, and I know a lot of people that have had abnormal cells. But obviously I just want to vlog it and make it somewhere that someone can click on this video if they're going through the same sort of thing as me. But obviously you're going to feel how, I can't tell you how to feel, but I know that right now I actually feel fine. I've sent it out the back of it's at the back of my mind. I'll just forget about it until the 6th of January, keep that appointment and obviously go for it then. But yeah, I did have a good read of the leaflet. It's quite informative really, so it just tells you sort of what will happen, and it's kind of just going to be like another smear where you have to but I do think there could be potentially, that might take a biopsy of the cells. That could happen as well, if obviously the need to, for abnormalities or anything like that. But yeah, this clip will be included in a bigger vlog, an updated smear vlog, because I thought obviously when 3 weeks time I won't remember how I feel today, like getting the letter through the door, whereas obviously at least I've inserted this clip so I know how I can look back and remember how I feel. But honestly, my head does feel, I'm not even worried. I know I would genuinely say if I felt worried. I don't, because I think, like I say, you can't worry about nothing. Nothing's happened yet. It's probably just abnormal cells, and fingers crossed they'll be fine and it'll just be abnormal, but they'll be nothing. So we'll see. Obviously I will keep this part of this little segment is just going to go into a bigger vlog, and I will vlog about how I feel when I actually have the next stage, which will be another screen. And so it'll be the same sort of, yeah, it'll be the same sort of thing as the smear was, and honestly I found that absolutely fine. So hopefully this next bit I just breeze through, but I thought let's update the vlog today so that everybody, because I just know in 3 weeks time I'll not remember how I felt. So that's how I feel today. Letter came through, initial reaction sheer panic, but now I've sort of got my head around it, and at the end of the day I can't worry because I don't know what's going on. So I'll worry about it if there's something to worry about, and hopefully there's not, so there's nothing to worry about. So obviously my result didn't come through with that letter, so I was nervous when I first opened it, but then I just thought there's nothing I can do. And then I think it was about a week later I got a letter, which I've got here, to actually say what my result was, and it basically just said that's not it, this one. So I got 2 letters, and the first one was to say I had the colposcopy, which obviously when you didn't have a result, it was really weird. I was like freaking out trying to narrow it down. As you seen in that clip, I was trying to narrow it down what was wrong. So I got this then letter a week later, which I thought was really bad, if I'm being honest, because obviously the instant worry, and when I was ringing people no one could explain it. I didn't actually ring my doctors the next morning because I just thought, oh, it's going to be fine. So I obviously wasn't that worried, you know what I mean? I mean, it's probably bad. My mum's like, you should ring. And then we just decided that it was fine. I just didn't ring anyway. So then I got this letter on, it says the 10th of December. But obviously I didn't get it then because the last in that clip was the 15th. And I definitely didn't have this letter then. So it says, Dear Paige, thank you for coming for your cervical screen, and your results show that you have HPV. This is called an HP positive result. HPV is a common virus and most people will have it at some point in their life without knowing. Usually it goes away on its own. However, sometimes it can be long lasting, and this may cause abnormal cells in your cervix. The cells can over time turn into cancer if left untreated. We also tested your sample for abnormal cervical cells. We found changes to some of the cells in your cervix called low grade, and it's that word again, I'm going to put it on the screen because I don't know. So low grade. In almost all cases, these abnormal cells are not found to be cancer, but we would like you to come for further examination. The examination is called a colposcopy. Colposcopy, yeah, I hope I'm saying that right. It is similar to having a cervical screening. We have requested a colposcopy appointment for you. This will take place in a hospital outpatient clinic. La-di-da-di-da. So that was the letter that I needed first because it explained what was wrong. So there's so then I have got a HPV positive result and also abnormal cells, which I was like, oh God. But then you have to think about it. The HPV is very, very, very common, but obviously people would get it without knowing. But if you go, you know, if you've got it and then it would go away. But if you smears in that test, it's like, you know, it's kind of like, it's one of those things that it is very, very common. So I wasn't too bothered about that. And obviously the abnormal cells, I know a lot of people that have had abnormal cells. In my family have, like in sort of my friends, like, you know, it's, that again, yes, it's abnormal cells, but it's very common that happens. So like today I'm going for the colposcopy and I actually feel totally fine. There is a little leaflet that I was like having a read of this morning, and I didn't even realize this. It's the same sort of thing as a cervical screening for the smear, but this is the look in. I didn't know what the colposcope was. It's basically a machine that they just look through. It doesn't even like sort of go inside, and you see. So it doesn't actually go inside. So
Though it is similar to a screening, but there's obviously different things, and it says it should last 10 to 20 minutes, so I'm going for that today. And my mum's driving me and she's going to wait in the car because obviously at the minute you can't go in with people and things like that, but I actually feel totally fine. The only thing I've been worrying about all morning is what to wear, because obviously you have to take off your trousers. So I was thinking, oh goodness, and I thought, well, why am I worrying, because I have to take them off anyway, so I can wear anything. So I went to put leather pants on, and then the zip broke. The zip came away, so I thought, well, I don't think it's fair to wear them. So I've just got a polo neck jumper and some like joggery style, like nice trousers, but obviously easy to come off, easy to get back on, you know, it's just no stress. That's what you want to do. But I really don't feel nervous. I just think, oh well, we need to get this sorted, and hopefully everything's okay. I probably won't get the result today. I mean, I don't know. It does also say in the leaflet if they need to take a biopsy, they will, so they could take a little biopsy and send that away. But that's today, that's what's happening. I really hope this video is informative to anybody, and I mean, I don't know a lot. All I know is really what I've read on these 3 or 4 letters and leaflets, so it's very new to me, but I hope this does help somebody. And you know, I wasn't maybe gonna not say about the HPV virus thing, because I thought, is that a bit like personal? But I thought, you know, it's not. It's very common, which I've read everywhere, because I had a little look on the leaflet about HPV, and honestly, it's very common. It's just you sometimes wouldn't even know you had it, and obviously it goes away. But with the abnormal cells, I'll probably now get a cervical smear. I'll probably get a smear every year, so I think it's a bit of a positive really. You get a smear every year so they can keep an eye on you and check, but hopefully everything's okay and we'll get it all sorted. But yeah, that's where I'm going now, so I'm just gonna take you along for the journey, maybe film a little bit, I don't know if I can, but we'll see. So that's what's happening today. I'm going for my colposcopy. I really hope I'm saying that right, but I'm feeling good, feeling not stressed. I was just stressed about what to wear, but we'll figure that out now, so I'm not stressed. I did actually ring the receptionist last night, just because we did go into a stricter lockdown, so I was thinking, I hope they're still doing them, but yes, they're still going ahead, everything like that. So I'll have to get a mask and wear obviously that. But yeah, that's where I'm going now, so here we go. So I'm just in the car now on the way to the hospital. Don't worry, I won't.
You got a mask?
No, have you got one for us? I was actually meant to get one at your house, but sparesies. So yeah, just on the way. It's actually snowing today, so it's a bit crazy, and where we're going is like really high up, so it's probably going to be like the North Pole up there. But yeah, feeling good. Got it on. I'm now in the waiting room, chilling. I'm scared. Done. All done. Where's my mother? Yeah, all done. I'll explain when I get home, but I did have a biopsy done, so I just need to find my mother. Okay, so I'm home now, obviously all done and all sorted. So I just want to talk a little bit about what I've had done, obviously because I want this video to help people. So it was absolutely fine. You might have seen some clips. I don't know how I'm going to insert it yet. So obviously when I was in the waiting room, when I got there, I totally forgot about the mask life, and I got out the car, jumped straight out the car, went all eager to get in and get sorted, and I forgot a mask. I was like, Mum, I need my mask. So I got a mask, so nearly entered the hospital without a mask, which was God. I think I'm not gonna lie, when I did pull up, I started to get nervous because I was like, oh, it's happening. If you can see steam, by the way, it's because I've got a cup of tea here, just in case it gets a little bit chatty. It's like a story time. So obviously pulled up, went in, forgot my mask, went in, and just had to check in at reception. I was really early, so I was thinking I'm probably going to be sat here for like half an hour, because I was like half an hour early, but I just checked in. Then I went through to the clinic where I was getting it done, and then I just had to give this little QR code to the lady, and I went in the waiting room, as you'll have seen, and I did start to get nervous then, not gonna lie. Like, I just started to get a bit like, oh, not nervous, scared, just like, even though I said scared, just like nerves were like running and stuff. The adrenaline was going for sure. And then obviously the lady called me, and she just told me that there was going to be like a medical student there, and obviously a I don't know what should be called, like the person who was helping us. So obviously she was the lady who did the colposcopy, so there was her, then there was a medical student and somebody else, and she just made sure that was okay. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I wasn't bothered. I don't know, I think it's gonna teach. She was like, the medical student won't be looking, she'll be looking at what I'm teaching her and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's like fine. So went in the room, and then she just talked to me a little bit about obviously my result, and I did explain how I didn't get the letter at the same time. I just got one to say I was having a colposcopy and then no information. And she actually said that I had a low grade like result, so obviously it wasn't anything like the cells and stuff weren't, I'm guessing, wasn't like high risk kind of thing. It was like low grade. So that's what she said. So that put my mind at ease straight away. And she just said that obviously as we went through it, she was talking me through. She was like, as we're going to go through it, I will potentially take a biopsy, because I asked, are you going to take a biopsy? She said, well, it'll depend what she sees, whether she wants to or not. So then obviously I just talked to her a little bit more, and that was kind of it. And then she just said, right, if you'd like to go through there, the girl who was called Chloe will direct you what to do. So then she put me in a little cubicle, like a toilet cubicle, and just asked me to sort of, you know, remove every, like, bottom half everything, and then cover yourself a little bit of dignity with this green sheet. So I did that, and then I went and I just sat on the bed, and obviously your legs are sort of in stirrups and things. Yeah, my legs were really shaking, because I must have started building myself up. And obviously she did explain how it was going to work. The colposcopy, or the colposcope, is basically like that's not inserted. It's sort of similar to a smear, where they insert a speculum, getting all my words, they insert the speculum, and then she'll use like the camera, sort of the colposcope, to actually see inside. And she did explain before that it was on a screen to the right of me if I wanted to, well, on a screen, and then I noticed it was at the right. And they were like talking to me and asking me like questions and stuff, but I said to her, I'm really nosy, so I will want to look. So I was like kind of watching it get done, which was honestly crazy. And then she said, oh, I'm going to take a biopsy, and I was still obviously watching. And then the girl who was like chatting to us, like, you wouldn't watch this bit. And so I didn't watch that bit. I just like looked away, and it didn't really hurt. It didn't hurt at all. It just felt like you could feel something going on, but it just sort of sounded like some really weird, a stapler. That's what I kept thinking. I was like, oh my god, she stapled it up. I don't know, like, I didn't know what was going on. And then obviously I looked on the screen, and it was like bleeding a bit. So she was just sort of, which was normal, because it's like you're taking away part of like the cervix, you know, it's so they can see what's going on. And she said I had a very healthy cervix. And actually when she was in there, she was sort of explaining, not to me, well, it was to me and the medical student, about a bit what she could see. And actually it was really interesting, because the Hpv virus, you can actually see that. It was really weird. You could actually see the outline of that. And she was like explaining that to the medical student, and I was listening, and I asked a question. She's like, yeah, that's it there. And things like that. And honestly, I probably would say I was there for 5 minutes, and if I'm being honest, the only thing I felt was the pressure of the speculum opening like everything up. That's all I could feel. Obviously I could feel things were going on, and then you get like a little niggle and crampy feel. That's honestly all I felt. And I think I probably would say I had cramp for about an hour after, but now I feel fine. Obviously I've had it all done and stuff. Anyway, so then that was it. She took a biopsy and just explained, like, she was putting this paste on a sort of like, I don't know, like, kind of like, I'm guessing a bit like a plaster, like to kind of work I don't know how that would even be, what the paste was. I think, can't really remember what she said. I think it was basically a patch up where she'd taken a biopsy from, and she just explained that it was the girl who was with her and was showing me that it was like a yellow paste, but she said it would come away like black. So I was like, oh right, okay, whatever. But then it was done. It was literally over, and that was it. Obviously it's not a very comfortable position, because you're lying there and, like, you know, you feel like your dignity's out the window, but at the end of the day, that's their job. They see that every single day. So I wasn't that bothered, and I really hadn't psyched myself up for it. I just thought, oh, I've got to have it done. I hadn't really thought about it. And obviously then I came out. I just got myself all sorted into the back in the change room, got myself redressed, and then I went back and we spoke a little bit more, and I did ask the question of like the HPV virus. I think that's sort of stuck in my head more than the abnormal cells, but it's so common. And she did actually say at the start, because I mentioned the HPV virus, I said about that, and she went, yeah, I hope that it came across like on the leaflet and the letter that it is very common, like that is so normal. And I was like, yeah, I did come across that it was normal. And obviously because I knew friends and people that had had it, it did feel more normal. I didn't really mind. But I think when you hear the word virus, you just think the worst straight away. But when I came out, I just asked her, I said, oh, so how does that clear up sort of thing? And she just said, naturally it will clear up. Your immune system just sort of fights that off. And she also said, obviously, if I smoked or vaped, that would stop it, not stop it from clearing up, but it would delay the clearing up process. Obviously, I don't do any of them, so it'll be fine and it'll clear up. But obviously, she took the biopsy and she just explained with everything going on at the minute, it'll be like 6 weeks until I sort of got a result, that sort of thing. But she said it should be like, she would be super surprised if it came back anything other than she thought like it was low. It is low grade. There's nothing really sort of to worry about. It's just obviously she said that you can get them sent back off to the lab here and there if you want to look into it more and things like that. But at the minute everything like looked okay, and she's gonna send off that sample to the lab, and I'll get the results in 6 weeks. So honestly, all in all, it was like, I can't explain, it was fine. And I do honestly think, if this is like genuine honesty, I think because I didn't psych myself up for something that like, oh my god, it's gonna hurt so much, because I was that relaxed, I just think it didn't hurt. And a bit like the smear, I wasn't that nervous for that. I don't know, I'm really surprising myself, if I'm being honest, how sort of relaxed and calm I'm being about all these things. But I guess it's just like grown up. And I mean, my friend is having a baby and she's been having contractions this morning. So I said to the nurse, I was like, I can't complain, my friend's in like the early stages of labour, so I have to be brave. So I think that had kept me going. And obviously I know that it was just sort of like getting a smear again. Obviously the biopsy, you know, it's not nice, because I think the sound, because you can hear it, feels a bit worse, but it actually was fine. But she did say there could be bleeding for like a couple of days, but if there was like excessive bleeding, then you would call like the hospital and you would go in there. But no, it's all good, all under control. And I really hope me vlogging this experience has helped. I actually told her that I was vlogging as well and making videos. I think they probably thought I was nuts because I was rambling a bit, because you know, when you're nervous and you start talking about everything. So yeah, I just wanted to speak about my experience, and I've had a very, very positive experience. The lady who done it, she was called Jan. She was absolutely lovely, made me feel really at ease. And obviously, you know, it's an uncomfortable situation if you've never had that done. But now I know if I ever had to have that done again, I'm fine, because I know what it's like. And I said to my mum when I came out, I wouldn't be bothered about getting it done again, because it was nothing. I mean, uncomfortable in terms of, you know, you get that little crampy niggle. That's probably the worst bit, because I just think cramp. I suffer with cramp so bad though, so that was nothing. But yeah, I just wanted to vlog about that, and I really hope it's helped. If you've clicked on this video, I hope it's helped you if you're going to go through that, or if you're generally just interested what it means, or whatever it is. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope I've helped and made you feel a bit more at ease. My biggest bit of advice is don't psych yourself up for anything, because it's nothing. I think if you psych yourself up for something, it's going to be worse. But if you just go in there, relax, and think, well, what it's going to be, you have no expectations, so whatever happens won't feel as bad. As if I was psyched up bad for that, I would have thought that was the worst thing ever. But because I just was chilled and relaxed, and I know it's easier said than done, but I think try and just put it to the back of your mind if you've got to have something like that done. I think that goes with all procedures though, just anything, just put it to the back of your mind and just think it's over with. My smear experience and this colposcopy experience have been really positive, and obviously I think the main thing to take away from it is the fact that that was my first smear, and abnormal cells have came up straight away, and the Hpv virus has came up straight away. So it's so important to actually go and get a smear. So if you're due one, if you haven't had one in a while, make sure you ring up your doctors, get one booked in, because it is so important. And obviously if it's left, it could be worse, but because you're on it, and like I say, I've had my smear, then my biopsy and things, anything that could happen or could be wrong will get sorted, because it's, you know, it's been managed. Whereas if you just leave that and let that sort of develop, it could turn into something, like God forbid it did, but could turn into something worse. So it's good to get checked, and if you're due one, please go for one. Take my experience and run with it. Like, I know this is the thing with everything on, like, if I advise anything, but I do think everyone is different and everyone has their own way of coping. But I think the biggest thing is don't stress. It's absolutely fine. And if you have clicked on this for just like a bit of advice or a little bit of like you going through maybe the same thing, then I hope everything goes okay and it will be fine. But it's good to get it checked, and it's really, really good to talk about. I mean, I talk about this anyway with my friends, my family, I'm so open about things like that. Nothing phases me. But I think just talk about it. I mean, I'm here if you want to talk to me about it, if you want to ask me some more questions about it, if I've not covered everything. I mean, it's one of those things that women have to go through, and men have to go through other things in their life that they have to go through. So, you know, it's natural. It's all the sort of thing of getting older, and, you know, it is what it is. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for clicking on and watching. I hope I have helped some people. I hope I've given my experience as clear as it is in my mind. I hope I've made that as clear as it was. Honestly, it was absolutely fine. Like I say, the biggest bit of advice is just relax, keep calm, and just check, get your smear, and hopefully everyone is fine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and of course I'll see you in the next video.